Hey guys, welcome back to Tactical Foul. We are doing our interview series. We're rounding it up, and yeah, we got to do. Apparently, they're telling me we have to interview me. Well, I can't interview myself, even though I think it would be riveting and a very fun thing to do. So I've relied on the coaching staff, but also my players and parents, and so they asked a lot of great questions. I had a lot of fun answering them. And so I hope you guys enjoy.
Hey, Kyle.
What's going on, man?
Good. I'm your first set of questions.
Oh, nice.
We want to know, the crowd wants to know where you're from, and what your current roles and responsibilities are in the soccer community.
All right. At least you're throwing me some softball questions at first. I appreciate that.
They get harder.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, I'm from Bay City, Michigan. I've lived in Michigan all my life. I was actually born in Grand Rapids, but I've lived in Bay City pretty much my whole life. I was raised here. Went to Bay City Central alongside you, as you know. And I think a lot of people at this point know that. I don't think it's not a very well-kept secret.
It bleeds purple and gold.
Yeah, that's right. And so, so Bay City, from the area. And then obviously I work for Nationals Tri-County. This past year I had a few different roles. I was director of junior nationals. I coached the 2011 girls, the 2010 boys red, and the 04 girls red. And then next year I am going to be coaching the 2012, 2013 girls. I will be coaching the 04 red again. We got a championship to try to retain, so we got to go there. And then I get to be the director one more year. Apparently, they think I'm doing an okay job of the junior nationals program, so I get to hopefully bring in a lot of new youth to the club.
Cool. Do you feel at your age, because you're a young coach, do you feel at your age that you have a coaching style or philosophy that you go to?
I would say it's definitely developing. You know, I know early on I really focused on like trying to find my style and how I want to do it. And I think it's important. I do still think it is, but I've learned that maybe it's a little bit more important just to not worry so much about the style and just figure out how to coach and how to get through to players, get through to parents, and do those type of things. And that's kind of helped me. So I almost had to take one step back. But I think now I'm starting to take those, two step forward where I get to start to implement the type of way that I want my teams to play. So I guess, now like with the 04s, this is an 11v11 team. So I think it's the easiest way to, view it. It's just easier for most people. I like to retain possession. If we don't have the ball, it's very, fast to press. We want to try to get the ball back as fast as possible. It's not very labored possession where we're just, we have it for long periods of time. We are quickly trying to find outlets, and get up the field as quickly as possible to try to create as many chances as we can. And then I think the foundation of every team that I have is based in being very tight on defense and being able to just build out of the back from that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's still very much developmental, and it will evolve, I'm sure, as I grow in my profession.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, like, you're going to be coaching for as long as you currently have been alive, So when you're 50 or 52, ideally you probably will think of soccer in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I mean, I already think about it in a different way, and I've only been coaching for 3 years, so I imagine after another 25 years,
feels like wait till you get to 15.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
My last question is, what are your coaching ambitions? Where do you want coaching to take you?
That's all right. You're right.
Got him.
I just, I don't ever think about these things fully because I'm just So I think a lot of it is because I'm so happy. Like I do like find myself like thinking like I really am coaching soccer for a living, and that somebody's paying me for it. I con somebody, and so I just am so in the moment. But as far as ambitions go, I want to experience everything the sport has to offer. I want to coach at every facet, 7v7, 9v9. I've already done 4v4. I want to do 11v11, which I've gotten those opportunities. But then I want to compete too. I'm super competitive, so I want to see how far it can go. And I'm very fortunate to be in a club that I can pretty much do a lot of those things here, and that's amazing to me. So I just want to see. I want to see what I'm best at. That's my goal in all of this is experience everything that I can, and then just really find out what I am best at. If I am best at coaching 8-year-old girls, you know what? I will coach 8-year-old girls if that's what I have to do. And if it's 11v11, it's 11v11. I'm not too picky about it. I just want to find out whatever I'm best at, and make that the lifelong ambition, and keep going and try to get better and better at those things.
Yeah, it's about the game.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
necessarily
Yeah,
the peaks.
absolutely. I love the game. So, I mean, I guess to add on to that, one more thing is just I want to leave a really positive, legacy. I guess I want to put the game in a better place, at least around here or wherever I'm at, in a better place than it was when I got there. So,
What or who inspired you to start playing soccer?
start playing soccer. Well, I'd already started kind of liking soccer a little bit. I'm a Manchester United fan. My first ever player that I watched that I was inspired by was Thierry Henry, who's a French legend, just legend of the game, played for Arsenal at the time. And then in that, I saw him in a World Cup, and then I was just like, wow, that's really cool. And then I watched a game. It was against Manchester United in the FA Cup. Manchester United won the game, and then from there I got to see Rooney and Van Nistelrooy's of the world, and I was struck by that, and I fell in love with Manchester United and just watching soccer. So I already kind of liked it a little bit. And then I was at school one day, and my best friend in like elementary school, his name was Tommy Jacobs. Your mom will probably remember that name. And I've kind of talked about it a little bit. I was going to play baseball because that was my dad's thing, and he didn't really want me to play soccer. But yeah, he's just like, yeah, play soccer. We play outside a little bit, and I was like, okay, cool. My friends are doing it. And from then on, I was just like, yeah, I want to do this. This is a really fun thing. So my friends were a big inspiration, but, I was lucky enough to, when I was like a younger kid or, your age, soccer was starting to be a little bit more accessible on TV, which made it a lot easier to enjoy. And then also I was coming into an age where I started playing video games. So I was able to like get soccer video games. And, once a boy gets hooked onto a video game, it's kind of over from there.
Who is your favorite soccer player and why?
Ooh, that is tough. I would say that I have I'm going to have to name a few because it would be too tough to just name one. Like I said, Thierry Henry kind of was the first one that I watched. I wouldn't say he was my favorite player, one, because the team that I support, he was a rival against, but he was definitely an inspiration. So he's close, but not quite there. Obviously, I would say I'll give you my top three real quick, and I'll run it down. Cristiano Ronaldo just has to be, especially in his younger years. He was just so exciting to watch, and he could just do everything. So a young fan that doesn't know much about the game, he was just so exciting to watch, and it made it a lot more fun. So he was early on one of my favorites for sure. As I got older, Wayne Rooney is in there as well. Kind of similar, but just the way that he played reminded me a little bit more of how I had to play the game, where it just was
It wasn't always as flashy, but he just worked his face off, and he was kind of a little bulldog, and he was willing to like get into, be really physical and do those things, but then also at the same time could pull out the spectacular. And then I said 3, but I have 2. They're tied at the top. The 2 are just everything you want in soccer players. They're what I aspire to be, and that's Michael Carrick and Paul Scholes. Their passing range, their vision, they're just really smart players. Not naturally gifted athletes, which is kind of how I am. I'm not, some amazing athlete. I at my peak I was okay. I'm not at my peak right now, but at my peak I was pretty decent. But I had to rely on, being a little bit craftier, using my intelligence, using, angles and different things. And that was just something that they did at an unbelievable level. So those are the 2 at the top for sure.
My mom has something that she wants to say.
Okay.
I've got a question for you.
Oh, goodness.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. What do you think is the most important quality a student athlete should possess today?
All right. I have to preface this, guys. You wouldn't guess it, but this is a good question because this was actually my second ever principal that I ever had, which is an amazing little small world thing that's going on. So a quality in a student athlete. Well, I'll be honest, I didn't become a good student athlete until college. So this is actually really good for me. But there's a lot of things. Time management is massive. Finding a balance, between everything, having time to get all the things done, but not in a rushed manner, actually care about every little thing that you're doing. So sometimes that means not doing as much, or realizing that you can do a little bit more if it's going to help you out. So time management's huge. And then self-motivation, I think, is another one that has to go right in there. If you're not going to do it yourself, you're going to struggle really hard, especially as you go on, later on in high school, even more in college when you really are on your own. Obviously, you have coaches and whatnot, but it's not the same. They have a job. It's to coach you in soccer. And obviously, they'll try to make sure you're on the right track, but you have to be very self-motivated. That way, you can push yourself to strive and be the very best that you can in all arenas in life. So those are, I'll give you 2. Cop out, but.
Same thing I tell Brinley about school.
Exactly.
You have to be self-motivated, right?
Absolutely.
What is your most memorable coaching moment?
That's a tough question. I would say it's just everyday stuff, like being able to improve the kids that I'm working with, or like in-game stuff where like I'm able to see something and relay that to you guys, and that helps you not just in the game but like in future games and different things like that. Like that's memorable to me. Like I can think of things, but if you want one specific moment right now, right now it's got to be when we won the league title. Hey, I've coached one 11v11 team and we won a league title the first time we did it. So, and you were there too. So that was pretty fun moment. So that would probably be it. So.
Did you play soccer in college?
I did. I initially went to Rockford University in Rockford, Illinois. I went there and played. I had a good time. Unfortunately, while I was there, I ended up tearing my MCL, which is in my knee. So I got really hurt, and that was really unfortunate. And then right at the same time, I had to come back for some family reasons, and my knee didn't really heal as well, and some other different things with some financial stuff didn't allow me to go back. But I had a really good time. I was really fortunate to be able to be in a position to play college soccer for even a short period of time. And then I ended up getting to coach. So, and I'm good with that.
What position, I can't say it right.
Position.
Did you play?
I played a lot. So it's kind of like I guess what they call it, like a jack of all trades. So I got recruited as a right back, so defense. And then I played center back as well. But then in college, I ended up playing, which I played a lot growing up. I played center mid, but I played like holding mid or defensive mid, which if Coach Kyle was a little more fit these days, I think I would play more of. But because I'm a little out of shape and a little slower than I used to be, I usually play center back now. Little less quick movements needed for that, but center mid is my preferred position, either center back or center mid for sure.
Okay. What's your favorite part of coaching?
It's not tough. It would have been tough probably a year ago, 2 years ago when I started, because I like competing and doing those different things. I'm really competitive. But as I've gotten into it, just creating, lasting relationships with players and, kind of gaining trust of the player and the families to allow me to help them develop as people and as soccer players is an unbelievable thing that I'm very grateful for. And, I had to kind of self-teach myself along with my friends. We'd play pickup and those type of things as a kid. And so to have the opportunity to, kids like yourself, maybe younger or even older, to give them like a soccer education from an earlier age than I was ever given one is a really, unique thing and a really amazing thing that I have the power to do. And I'm really, that's probably the best part for me.
How do you learn so much about soccer?
I mean, I still have a lot to learn, so but I would say it's just about watching. It's about, watching it, being a part of it, playing it. I am fully soccer has been basically my life for as long as I can remember, whether it was playing soccer, watching soccer, playing soccer video games, playing some FIFA, whatever it is. And now I'm in the fortunate position to coach it as well. So it's just you keep going on, you keep watching. There's so many different ways to learn, and there's so many avenues and options out there. And so I just take advantage of every single one of them.
What's your favorite technique you see in a game?
So as far as like teaching you guys, for you guys to teach you guys to see you perform technique in a game, it's really tough because there's a lot of techniques that I teach, right? Like very simple ones, receive the ball with the inside your foot on your back foot, push with the outside of your foot when you're dribbling, those type of things. But, I drive them home so much. I kind of expect it, but I would say my favorite ones to see are whatever techniques I can teach you guys that play into your strengths as individual players. I'll use you as an example. You don't do a lot of skill moves, which is okay. That's not what you're confident in right now. But so what you are is a very quick little player, and you're ready. You're very willing to drive towards the goal. And so using a body fake, right? At first, you would do it and then you kind of run into players. But now we're getting to points where you fake one way and you push the ball around a player. And so seeing something like that, you have success from a technique that I was able to teach you that I figured that I thought would help you. That's amazing to me. It just goes into the whole, I just love teaching the kids and that is it for sure. So hopefully that answers it.
When did you start playing Fortnite?
It's almost embarrassing how long I've been playing, considering I should be better. I've been playing since almost day one. The game came out around July 2017. You guys are addicts probably, so you probably know exactly when it started. But I don't. Sometime around then, July 2017. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Let me go. All right, I know myself a little bit. And then so I started watching it in like September of 2017, watching streamers play, Ninja and Myth and CDN the third. Those guys were playing it, and they were really fun to watch. And Coach Cameron, who I was living with at the time, just kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me. He's like, just download the game. And like I'm real cheap, and I was like, I don't want to buy a game. He's like, it's free, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll download the game. And so we downloaded it in like October, November, and yeah, I've been playing it ever since. I've taken some breaks here and there, which is why people are catching up to me, but I've been playing from basically day one.
Okay, so what age did you begin soccer?
I started kind of late, actually. Late when you think about everybody else starting. I was 7, actually, so I was like in the 2nd grade. I tell this story all the time, but neither of my parents knew what soccer was. Really, I mean, they knew what it was, but they weren't fans. My dad was not thrilled, not a thing that he enjoyed, because he just never watched it. He was a big baseball fan, baseball player, and so that's what he wanted me to play. So I actually was going to play baseball, because that's all I really knew. And so we were going to go to a sign up for baseball. And then I think it's funny because baseball is the only sport in the world that their signups can actually get rained out, just like their games. So that's what happened. It rained. The signups got postponed for the next week. And I went to school, and one of my best friends said, hey, I play soccer. You should play. And so that's what happened. I went home the next day and said, Mom, I want to play soccer. And my dad wasn't too thrilled, but my mom signed me up for soccer the next day and never played baseball. My dad likes it now, so we're fine.
Why did you want to become a soccer coach?
Good question. The honest answer is for a long time I didn't. I love soccer. I love everything about it. I just didn't think I wanted to coach. I didn't know that it was something that was gonna really make me as happy as it does. Coach Cam and I have been friends for a long time. We were actually roommates. We were living together. We lived in the same house. And so I had just recently left a job, and I wasn't doing a whole lot. And he was just like, hey, I work for this club, which was Nationals, of course. And he's like, we have this thing for our little kids. You can just help. You just coach little kids, and you make a little extra money. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not doing anything anyways. I did it, and I absolutely fell in love. And honestly, I'm doing the junior nationals, which is, I'm fortunate enough to run now. But I just started doing, hanging out, coaching the kids a little bit. And I was like, I just remember like how much joy and how much I got from like a kid actually being able to do what I was teaching them. And I remember thinking like, okay, this can actually replace the same feelings that I got as a player, which I never thought would happen. And it did. And now ever since, I've never regretted it. And I'm absolutely in love and passionate about what I do. And I couldn't think of a better job to do than coach kids like you and hopefully make an impression on you guys in a positive way.
What is your favorite thing about coaching?
My favorite thing about coaching. That's tough. There's a lot of favorites that I have, but I would say for me, I love the fact that I get to, I just like making an impact on kids like you. Like I get to, not only teach you soccer, but I get to like create relationships and help you guys develop or hopefully develop as soccer players, but as people too. And just, I get to kind of create a legacy while doing something that I never thought in a million years that I would actually get paid to be in the sport that I love, like to play. I get to coach a game, and I get paid for it. And that's what I get to do for a living. Like there's nothing better than that. So there's a lot of things that I love. There's so many things, but the impact I get to have on kids and the relationships I get to make, I would say that's probably number one.
what is your favorite soccer move?
My favorite soccer move. Okay, so Coach Cam is gonna laugh at this, but I'm not. I'm a very simple person, like even on the soccer field. So it kind of, you know what an inside hook turn is, right? Yeah, I know you do. You're good at it. So it's not quite. It's I call it a chop, right, or a cut. And so what it is, it's kind of like an inside hook turn, except for instead of hooking the ball, I just chop it back, and I will cut the ball on a really tight angle, and I'll go the other direction really fast. I like that, and then I do, again, simple. A little body fake is, you don't need much more than that either, but a cut is my go-to. It has been. Coach Cam will laugh about it. Anybody who's ever played with me will laugh about that being the only thing I do, but you know what I'll say is they still haven't stopped at this point, so I'm going to keep doing that.
Kyle, like one of the questions that I had for you was, how do you keep your top players motivated to compete at a higher level than they're playing at currently?
That's a good question. I think it's a case-by-case thing. I don't, because, I think as we all know, every kid's different, right? But I guess if I'm going to kind of one blanket statement on it, it's just really about finding, whatever you can kind of poke at a kid and challenge them with that. Like I was the type of player that like, I want to feel like if I feel like I'm not reaching where I can, I'm going to push. And I get the same, vibe from most of the players that I have. I'm very fortunate in that manner where I get to coach a lot of competitive kids. And so if I think, okay, there's another peak that they can get to, regardless of where they're playing, what team they're playing on, it's just about like kind of getting in their head like, oh, I'm not there yet. So finding a way to like really challenge them, but like to make them internally challenge them, because I can say, hey, you need to do this. It's not going to matter. But if they're like, oh, I need to do this, then it matters a lot. And then they're going to push themselves. And that's usually where you find a lot of success. At least for me, that's what I've come to find is the most successful way.
Next question. So team's on a good streak, right? They're playing really well. But you notice that maybe they're losing their edge. How do you keep that edge?
I mean, really, it's just about forgetting the result. I mean, obviously, you never forget about it. You think about it. You take everything you can from every result. But I guess it goes back to this. It's just like, it's what do you want? And I'll guarantee for the most part, when you ask that question to yourself, to your team, the answer is probably not to win that one game. It's probably to win a championship. It's, win a league, win a tournament, whatever it is. It's about always kind of reaffirming that goal that was set, and, reminding them of that, because if they lose an edge, or if they even like slip a little bit, it's very easy to just, make a mistake or lose a game. It's, soccer is a very funny game in that way where like you can be doing everything right and one wrong step and you might lose a game 1-0. And it goes the same way, throughout the season, right? Like if you're neck and neck with the team and, you're focused for 90% of the season, that 10% can be the killer, or 99%, that 1% could really be the killer. So it's just about, one, setting goals, I think, in advance, and then throughout the season reaffirming it and just kind of making them realize that one result really doesn't matter all that much. It's about the bigger picture and kind of just helping them form that picture and, kind of just pushing it to the limit of making them try to reach that goal.
Okay. I'll kind of conclude with this. When we came to nationals, there was a tryout and there was 50 some odd girls for 2 teams.
I remember.
And that was a big deal. And we wavered. We wavered on joining the club. There was another Mount Pleasant parent with us and girl with us, and We both wavered on it, but ultimately, you know, they made a team, but
Yep.
ultimately it was the coach that sold us. And it took a little 2-minute speech for that coach to sell us on making that determination to come to nationals. If you had 2 minutes to tell a parent why they should come, what would it be?
Well, I guess if I'm talking to him, I'm talking about me. It's really just about this. Like, one, obviously I have to find out why, what they're wavering about. But within that, it's just about reassuring them that this is the right place to be. We can, whatever you've done before, you came here for a reason. You came to this tryout because you heard something about us. And, you know, whatever you heard, it's going to be our mission to, you know, prove that right and then some, to exceed your expectations, to get your son or daughter to a place where they want to be. That is our goal. You know, if we have put more kids into college programs in the last 5 years than any other club in the area, and we're going to continue that trend. And so if that's something your kid wants, we can do that. If it's just making a high school team, that's a no-brainer. We can do it. For the most part, whatever goals the kids have, we are able to help them reach that goal. And so, I mean, I just think it's a no-brainer that if there are lofty goals that you or your kids have, you know, we're going to do our best to get them to that point.
What is the highest juggling record of all time?
By me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to talk. You know, look, it's well known. I am putrid at juggling. I can dribble a little bit. I can't juggle. It's not something I've ever enjoyed. When I was younger, I could get to like 100 because it was just something I practiced, right? Because it was really important to like the coaches I had back then. But I've always disliked it. And I just try to get better at all the other things, and I focused on what I was good at, which, you know, I'm not good at juggling. That doesn't mean I should stop working on it, because we should always work on our, you know, weaknesses. But I'm a big believer that, you know, you should double down on your strengths. I would rather you be really good at one thing than be kind of average at two things. So that's always been my philosophy, and I really believe in that. So not high. That's the answer.
All right. One question that I have to find out the answer to this. You and Cameron know each other. Have you guys ever met on the field as opponents?
We have. So Cameron's a year older than me. I played for the 95 Renegades, is what they were called back in the day at Bassa, and he played for the 94s. And then obviously we played together in high school. So most of our career was playing together. We've played a couple times, not that much because he's older, but we did actually meet in a tournament. I want to say it was Gaylord. Yeah. Gaylord tournament. We met in a semifinal match, and we actually, my younger team, by the way, actually came away with that victory. Not a happy day for Cam on that day. I'm sure he probably doesn't remember. It's not that big of a deal, but I have one of those memories. And then the only other time was a scrimmage, and one of our best friends actually followed me on the edge of the box. He's an unbelievable athlete, but he was a football player and a wrestler, so he committed a lot of fouls, put it that way. And I scored a free kick against them. I don't know if we won that game, but I scored a free kick on Coach Cam too. So
Take that, Coach Cam.
right, he might be able to juggle better than me, but my record's better against him.
Okay. Kiss Motley Crue.
Oh, that's I actually saw both of them at the same time, by the way. Kiss.
Yeah, I try to get a challenge there. Okay.
That's not an easy one though. It isn't.
Peter Chris singing Beth or Sting singing Roxanne?
That's a good one. Beth is one of my favorite childhood songs. So
Okay. Detroit Rock City or Alicia Keys, New York?
well, come on, it's Michigan. I gotta go for Detroit Rock City. It's a Kiss sweep at the moment. So Alicia Keys is a phenomenal artist, though. Just so we're clear.
This is kind of a setup. Detroit Rock City or Hockey Town?
Oh, man. Yeah, Detroit Rock City.
Okay. All right. Ace Frehley or Slash?
My cat's named after Ace Frehley, so I gotta go with Ace Frehley.
All right. I figured those would be leaning towards the Kiss rock band.
Slash
So
is amazing, but Ace is a much more jazz influenced guy, and I really like that. I'm an R&B guy as well in my music taste, so like that kind of stuff is I like that music style a little bit more with the guitar.
They have jammed together before.
Oh yeah.
Australia or Alaska?
Oh, that's tough. I actually have family that lives in Alaska, and I've never been to either. I'm warm all the time, so I could probably handle Alaska a little better. So both are amazing. Both are bucket list places to go, but I'll go with Alaska. I got a place to stay for free.
This has been a very important question to every single coach. Pizza or tacos?
Cam, you're gonna be mad at this, and I don't care, but pizza. I just it's my favorite.
Hulk Hogan or Macho Man Randy Savage?
That's gotta be Macho Man. I mean, I've spent many a days, reciting some Macho Man lines for sure. So.
All right. I hope I don't embarrass myself here. Macho Man's "Oh yeah" or "Snap into a Slim Jim."
Oh yeah. Yeah. I told you I practice.
That's great. Ultimate Warrior or Roddy Piper?
Oh, not even a question. Rowdy. Oh, it's got to be Roddy Piper.
Okay.
The way that guy talks, he's an inspiration. I am a talker, so that guy is. I love it.
Perfect. Jurgen Klinsmann or Bruce Arena?
Jurgen, just by default, because Bruce is terrible.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that would happen. World Cup or Champions League?
So, United States World Cup, is that what you're saying, or Manchester?
The event.
Oh.
Event or Champions League?
I mean, World Cup is a way cooler thing because it takes place in a shorter amount of time. But the Champions League is really. I'll say World Cup just because you get it all very close together. But a Champions League final is usually an unbelievable game to watch.
I was hoping that one would be a little bit tough for you. Good.
It was.
Okay, so a little bit of fun. Do you know what a payphone is?
Yeah, I've used it. I put the dime in the payphone. I'm not that young, Phil.
Do you know what a typewriter is?
I do know what a typewriter. I've used the typewriter, not very much, but yeah, I do.
Radio versus podcast.
Oh, that's really tough. I mean, obviously, I have the podcast thing going. I'm gonna say podcast because check out Tactical Foul, cheap plug, but I love listening to the radio.
Cassette tapes or CDs?
It's got to be CDs, just because the first musical thing I was given was a CD. You'll Love This. Blizzard of Oz was the first CD. Ozzy Osbourne was the first ever CD I ever owned. Then we get into some obscure stuff that we don't. But,
okay, problem. And Dave Grohl Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl Nirvana.
Not even a question. Dave Grohl Foo Fighters. We're not gonna get into it. Dave Grohl Foo Fighters, 100%.
All right, and I was thinking maybe I shouldn't ask, but I might as well. Man United, Man City.
Is there another club in Manchester besides Manchester United?
I thought you'd have fun with that one.
I've got 3 names for you.
Okay.
Start, sit, or cut. Yeah,
Yep.
cut. You're a knowledgeable soccer fan, so I actually have a lot of them. So
Okay. I'll be
bear
quick
with
about
me.
it.
The first one is just a bore to me. It's such a bore. Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard. What you got?
Hey, you were really close, but it's Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard.
I put Lampard first on purpose.
Yeah, I know you did, but nah. He's on the team still though.
Yeah. Mbappe, Sancho, or Holland?
I'm gonna say Sancho, Mbappe, Holland. Not because I think Sancho's better, but I think he's gonna play for Manchester United. So
Yeah, I'll pipe dream that. Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, David Beckham.
I got to go with the center mid. So Keane, Cantona, Beckham. Beckham's amazing, but that's tough. That's God.
Pirlo, Xabi Alonso, Sergio Busquets.
Anyone who can play at a walking/jogging pace and be as amazing as he was, I gotta pick him.
To be fair, they're all walkers.
Yeah, but not like Pirlo. Pirlo perfected it, in my opinion. So Pirlo, Busquets. Oh, God, that's really harsh. Those are dreams of a player. And then so those are the 2. So that means Xavi's somehow out. I'll find a way.
Oscar would say different against Pirlo. You never saw that goal against Pirlo when we 2013 Champions League. We were just different breed back then. Schmeichel, De Gea, Van der Sar.
I didn't really get to see Schmeichel, but I know many people will tell me how amazing he is. I've seen De Gea. I think at their best, De Gea is the best, but Van der Sar, De Gea, Schmeichel.
Wow.
I think De Gea could be the best, but look, Van der Sar is my childhood. He's part of the team that made me absolutely fall in love with the sport. So
that's a big shout for shaky glass hands De Gea. Benzema, Ibrahimovic, Eto'o, Samuel Eto'o.
That's tough, but you know what? I think he's one of the most underrated players in probably the last 15 years. I'm going to go with Benzema. I'm going to go with Zlatan because he played for us, and then Eto'o is really tough. It's harsh on him because he was so amazing, but Benzema deserves to be in there. Been part of so many amazing teams, and he just keeps consistently scoring goals.
Neymar, Hazard, Bale. Modern day wingers.
Oh, you know what? I thought about it. I thought it'd be hard, and it's really not. It's Neymar. It's no question. The little cheeseburger loving dribbler Hazard gets second, and then Bale because he's really only done it for 2 years, 3 years at a super high level. But he is still very unbelievable.
Oh, my last one is just gonna pull your heartstrings, and I'm so happy one of these guys gets cut. Rashford, Giggs, Ronaldo.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the Manchester United famous wingers cut one of them.
I know who you want me to cut. You want me to cut him so bad.
Cut him! Because it's your favorite man and the all-time great, and then there's just Mr. Mediocrity.
Not mediocrity. Ronaldo's first because he's one of the best players.
Who are you gonna go with? The young god or Mr. Average? Mr. Middle of the Road?
I can't sit him.
Honest.
I'm going with Giggs. I'm cutting.
That's just.
Whatever.
Can't wait for Rashford to be a Manchester United legend, and we watch this clip back.
Listen, I probably should pick Rashford, but I can't cut Giggs with you on the camera, or else you're gonna lose your mind and be so happy about it. And I can't.
We all know what the order is. We all know. To end this, your all-time 11. If it has it has even half the number of Manchester United players that Steve Walker had in his, I might vomit.
No, it has less. I have.
That's good. What is your all-time Kyle Gru's opinion, all time 11.
This is the one that I'm going to roll with, all right? Look, there may be some better players, but I think these guys are better fits, all right? So keep that in mind. You're not even going to be mad. You're not going to be mad with this first one.
Yeah,
Gigi Buffon.
As long as Giggs isn't in there.
He's not. Gigi Buffon is my goalie.
I can't believe it.
The guy is incredible. Father Time doesn't know what to do with him because he just keeps saying, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna keep playing," and he's like, "All right," and he's still playing at a super high level. Right back, just because the guy is incredible, and I didn't get to see a lot of other top right backs, and he does everything. Danny Alves has absolutely changed the position, and so he's my guy. My center backs, Paulo Maldini at left center back. I just think that 1v1 and those type of things, you don't really get much better. First Man United player, it's Rio Ferdinand, because I think that he's a center back that just can do everything. He was a Rolls Royce of a center back, and so he's easy for me in that center back spot. There's a lot of great ones, but this one, look, I'll be honest. Is he the best left back of all time? No. But is he my favorite? Yes. And I think he was incredible, and that's Patrice Evra. He's my favorite left back of all time. He was a great defender, and he contributed a lot. And he scored probably my favorite goal of all time. So he gets in. Again, you're going to ridicule me, and I don't care. But these two guys were everything for me as like what I wanted to be as a player, and that's Carrick and Scholes. They get in. Carrick is the 6. He just is sweeping up everything and just moving the ball. And then the next guy, I battled with this a little bit. It was going to be Zidane because that just makes sense. But I'm going with Iniesta because I just think the guy can make everything tick. And I kind of skipped over it but Scholes is my favorite. He does everything. He has the vision. He's amazing. And you can say what you want, but a lot of people have him in there, and that should say something to you. So the forward line, left wing, easy. It's Ronaldo. Right wing, also easy. Messi. Don't worry, I didn't go too crazy. You would have lost your mind if he was out. And then honestly, I got to put him in there because he's the reason I love Manchester United. And to be fair, he was unbelievable as a player, and that's Wayne Rooney. I can't not have Wayne Rooney in there. And even more so, the team's going to be coached by Sir Alex Ferguson. I just have to make sure to put that in there. And that team's win the Champions League, so it's all good. Because it's not the worst. Look, you can be mad about it, but it's definitely not the worst one you've heard out of the coaching staff. So,
What's going on, guys? Coach Tyler here. We got Coach Kyle here. I know you guys are used to having Coach Kyle here be doing all the interviews, but the tables have turned for tonight. And I'm going to be the one asking the questions. We got 5 questions on the table, and we're going to see how well Kyle can do. Kyle, you excited for this or what?
I'm terrified. I'm supposed to be the trivia guy, and if I fail, this is going to be bad.
Yeah, I wasn't that great at mine, so if you do worse than me, then you got a wrong thing going for you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's get into it. So 5 questions. We've got 3 Manchester United questions. We know you're a big Manchester United fan. We've got 1 Premier League question, and we got 1 World Cup question from the modern era. So maybe a couple softballs here. I don't know. Maybe a couple really tricky ones. We're gonna find out. Let's get right into it. You ready?
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
All right, perfect. All right, so number 1, the legend himself. Sir Alex Ferguson was appointed manager in 1986 after someone was fired. Who was the previous manager that was fired?
Ron Atkinson.
Ding, ding, ding. 1 for 1.
I got 1. I'm pumped about that.
I had a feeling you might know that one. All right.
Yeah.
Number 2. All right. The 2009 to 2010 season, Man U finished 2nd. Who finished 1st and won the Premier League that season?
I know. I know why you put this one in here, Tyler. Let me take a stab in the dark and say Chelsea won it that year.
Okay. Chelsea is the correct answer.
By the way, I'm pretty sure.
When I get to create the question, sometimes this kind of thing has to happen, you know?
Yeah, Wayne Rooney was an absolute monster that year, though. He scored over 30 goals, just so we're clear.
All right. Still didn't get to lift a trophy, though. All right, this one I think is going to be a bit tougher. All right? This is one I don't know if Manchester United fans know these kind of things or how into it you are. All right, so
we'll see.
When was Manchester United founded? What year?
It was I get originally or when it was rebranded into Manchester United.
When was Manchester United founded? Is the question.
Okay. Well, after they were Newton Heath, the railroad company was the one that owned them. They became Manchester United. I'll give you a little background because I'm the trivia guy. I got to do that, right?
Yeah.
They were going bankrupt, and so the team captains actually went to 4 major business owners in the city to unite Manchester United, which is where that was kind of the slogan for their pitch, and that's where Manchester United's name came from. I'm gonna probably get the answer wrong, but I think it was. It's somewhere in the. I want to say 1905 or 1902. I'm gonna go with 1905.
Close. I mean, you were getting there 1878.
Okay. See. So just so we're clear, I didn't get that wrong. That's why I asked you when Manchester United was founded. Newton Heath was founded. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
We could put an asterisk by that. All right. You kind of got it. You kind of didn't get it.
That's all right. We're
enough.
Okay.
I got no idea. When you asked me that, how am I supposed to know? I don't know that. All right. Number 4. Now into Premier League history. All right. Obviously, it's not. It's history. Which player scored the fastest hat trick in Premier League history?
Oh God.
And I'll give you the last question as correct if you can get within 10 seconds of it. You got to guess the player and you got to guess the time within 10 seconds.
I got to guess the player and the time.
Well, you want the bonus. You want the bonus. You got to guess the time.
Okay. Can I at least know when about this guy played?
I mean, you were born. You've seen him play. You've seen him play on TV.
Okay, I've seen him play. So at least within the 2000s.
Yeah, you've seen him play.
Fastest hat trick. There's a couple guys that are in for that. I know I've seen this number, and I'm gonna be mad when you tell me.
You have, yeah, you have.
I'm just gonna go with. Wow, that's really tough. I'm just gonna throw a shot in the dark and just go with someone like. I don't think it's right. I'm just going with Fernando Torres.
No, Sadio Mane. Southampton versus Aston Villa 2015. 2 minutes and 56 seconds.
I did know that. Yeah, I knew it was a Liverpool guy, which pains me. I just didn't know which one.
Yep. Close enough, but not correct. Close enough.
Yeah, I was never getting the time, by the way. I wasn't even going to try.
No, yeah, we got to get off for the bonus out. All right, so last one, World Cup question.
Let's see.
The record number of World Cup goals is scored by who?
Miroslav Klose.
Do you know the number of goals?
Hang on. Oh, I'm gonna get this wrong. I think it's 15 or 16. I'm gonna say it's 15.
16.
It's 16. All right.
Hey, dang good though. I'll give you 4 out of 5 is good. 4 out of 5.
I think it's 3. I mean, yeah. If you give me the asterisk.
3.5 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5.
There we go. I'll take it. It was a little tough. I was able to cruise for a little bit, and then you stopped me dead in my tracks with the one. I gave a little bit of history. I thought I was kind of in the ballpark, and then.
Oh yeah, you did well. I knew one was going to be pretty easy. One was going to be really hard.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
for the
So,
most part, I didn't know about the other three, but hey, 3.5. I think I got 2, so that's better than me. And you're the trivia guy, so you got to get at least above 3.
yeah, they were pretty good. I respect the questions. They were tough. And I'm a little disappointed. Obviously, I go study up a little bit now. So
That's
I
all right. Hey, 3.5 out of 5 we'll give you. That's pretty dang good. So hopefully you guys all got to learn a little bit of history about the Badman's Club in Manchester United, and hopefully Kyle got to give you a little bit of a lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. And also, I need to give a massive shout out to every single person that was in the videos, that asked questions, that sent me in questions but just didn't want to be on camera, whatever it was. All of it means a ton. Uh, and everybody who's watching right now, we couldn't do all the things that we do without you guys. And so that was one of the biggest reasons why we did this, was to just showcase all the amazing people that we have in our club, not just the coaches. So thank you so much. This has been Tactical Foul, and we'll be back.